What if I told you that one single click, not a hack, not a hidden password, just one click on the wrong link has drained more wallets this year than every exchange collapsing combined? One click. That's it. No shady guy in an alleyway with a ski mask. No supercomputer that just hacks every part of your life. Just a link in an email that looked normal enough, button that said connect wallet, and boom, gone. Today, I'm going to make sure that never happens to you. Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm Mr. Arroyo, and this is Blocks and Beyond, the podcast where we break down crypto and Web3 in plain English. No PhD required. And if you're new to crypto or you're trying to learn without breaking your brain, this is the podcast you want to be listening to. This is the podcast you want to share with your grandmother. Today we're going deep on two things that are a constant interaction when it comes to cryptocurrency. And those are exchanges and wallets. And then, if you last long enough, we're going to get into the scary but necessary part. We're going to talk about phishing scams. We're going to talk about fake links and the sneaky signature scam. These scams can empty your entire wallet in a single click. So you're probably asking yourself, why does that even matter? Why do I need to know these things? And I'm going to tell you something. You can know everything there is to know about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and private keys and still lose everything in about 8 seconds flat because of a scam that looked completely normal. So by the end of today's episode, you'll finally understand the real difference between an exchange and a wallet. Exactly what happens behind the scenes with your public address and your private keys, and how to spot the phishing tricks designed to drain your wallet before you even realize what's happening. Okay? You guys ready? So let's get into it. Let's get into the main meat and potatoes of this. So an exchange versus a wallet, they're two completely different tools that people constantly mix up. So let me explain this in plain English, obviously. An exchange is a business. Think about Coinbase. Think about Binance, Kraken, whatever you want to call it. Where you create an account, you KYC verify your identity, and trade crypto the way you would trade stocks, Forex, back and forth. When your crypto sits on an exchange, hear me, the exchange is holding the private keys on your behalf. A wallet, on the other hand, isn't a business. It's software or hardware, whichever one you choose, we'll get into that later, that holds your keys direct with no middleman. There are also decentralized exchanges which let you trade directly from your own wallet without ever handing your crypto over to a company. So a centralized exchange is like a currency exchange counter at the airport. It's convenient. It's regulated. Someone hands you the cash. You go on your way. A wallet is like the actual wallet in your back pocket. And a DEX is like swapping cash directly with a stranger on the street corner. Except the whole thing is run by code instead of a person. The whole thing is transparent. The whole thing is recorded on the blockchain. So think of it this way. When you buy Bitcoin on an exchange app and just leave it there, you technically own an IOU from that company. not the Bitcoin itself on the blockchain. Moving it to your own wallet is what turns the IOU into actual self-custodied ownership. You hear me? Transferring it from the exchange to your wallet, that's where ownership of crypto comes in. Don't be fooled thinking you own crypto because it's on your SoFi or it's on your Coinbase or it's on your crypto.com account. So let's have some fun with this one because this is big and I need it to stick. I know half of you been calling your exchange app, "Oh, this is my wallet. This is my wallet." And honestly, that's fair. The apps are designed to feel that way. But here's the truth from your boy. An exchange is basically a bank teller with a crypto license. Plain and simple. It's holding it for you. A wallet is you holding your own stuff. Neither one is the wrong choice, depending on what you're doing. Exchanges are great for buying in and cashing out quick. Most of them connect directly to your bank account. Wallets are great for actually owning and using your cryptocurrency. The mistake is not knowing which one you're using at the moment. Got it? Good. I knew you guys would be on point. So now let's talk about public addresses and private keys. This is the deep dive because the last episode we spoke about this, it was just kind of a teaser. So your public address is generated from your private key using one-way math, meaning you can create the address from the key, but you can never reverse engineer the key. That's what makes it safe to hand out publicly. Your public key, or your public address, this is the address you give people to receive cryptocurrency. So when you send a transaction, your wallet uses the private key to create a digital signature. Basically, a cryptographic autograph proving you authorized that exact transaction. And then it broadcasts it to the network without ever revealing the actual key itself. So I need you to think of, let's see. Think of your private key like a stamp that makes it unique. Practically an unforgeable wax seal on the back of an envelope. You can show everybody the seal. That's your public address. But nobody can reverse engineer the actual stamp from looking at the seal. This is exactly why every wallet asks you to approve or sign a transaction with a digital signature. Instead of just sending it automatically, that signature steps in as your private key proving cryptographically that yes, you and only you are authorizing this exact action. And that's whether sending money, that's whether transferring, that's buying an NFT, playing a video game, whatever the case. Now, here's the part though. Here's the part that trips people up. And it's the perfect setup for what we're getting into next. That word, sign, sounds harmless, right? Like you're just autographing something. But signing isn't always send $5 to a friend. Sometimes signing means give this smart contract to the permission to move tokens out of my wallet whenever it wants. One completely different level of danger. And that little gap in understanding, that's exactly where scammers put 120% of their focus. So let me tell you a quick story real quick. So a well-known pattern in crypto scams involves fake NFT mint sites. You've probably seen these. And even fake wallet connects. They look pixel perfect. It looks just like the real platform. And victims Most of the time, the ones who don't really understand, they click connect wallet, approve what looks like a normal mint transaction for the NFT they were hoping to own, but unknowingly sign a permission slip that lets scammers connect and contract to drain every token that is in the wallet in seconds. Sometimes while the victim is still looking at the computer. There was also a widely reported incident, hear this, where a hardware wallet, the customers of that company, their data was breached, and afterwards, real customers were flooded with extremely convincing phishing emails, pretending to be the official alert. Because the scammers knew what happened in the company, they were not hesitant to click on this link and protect themselves. And boom, wallets started draining left and right. So this part is where I'd love to tell you it only happens to careless people. But nah, nope. Some of the folks who got caught in that hardware phishing scam were people who've been in crypto for years because the email looked so legit. Same font, same logo, same tone as the real company. That's the scary part about phishing. It's not some obvious Nigerian princess email. It's polished. It's professional. With AI, it's taken to a whole nother level. It's built to make you feel safe right up to the moment when it's not safe anymore. So now it's time for the audience engagement moments, right? You guys hit us up all the time on Blocks and Beyond on Instagram, and I want to get into some of these questions real quick. So, question 1. Have you ever clicked approve on a pop-up without actually reading what is said? You want me to be honest? So during 2001-ish time when NFTs were the big boom, like everybody had an NFT coming out, Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, like Pudgy Peng, everything was just flowing. Artwork was flowing. There was so many times that I would click approve, buy NFT. I would get emails. You got an airdrop from this NFT. And I would click it because I was still new to this game. And the lucky thing was that crypto allows you to have multiple wallets. So my wallets with my cryptocurrency were never the same wallets I used for my NFTs. So if they hacked it, maybe they got $10, maybe they got 15, but it was never able to just completely drain my entire wallet because it was separated. Cool? So I hope that answers the question. The second question I got, it says, what would you do if you got an urgent looking email from your wallet saying your account needs immediate verification? So here's the thing with wallets. Now, an exchange is different. Most of the time you can reach out to an exchange, and I highly recommend that if they allow you to call in or they have a secure chat for like representatives, always go that direction. But with a wallet, it's your ownership. So most of the time, they're not going to call, they're not going to reach out to you to change your password. They're not going to tell you, oh, your account was hacked. Please click here to look into this. Most of the time, the wallets are not going to do that. And that's what you need to understand. And a lot of times, majority of the time, an exchange will have a, like, almost like a secret password. Like, remember back in the day when you used to go to the airport and to pick up your tickets, you would have to put like a secret code? So like you would put like shiny crypto or so, and the only way to know that that email is authentic would be for that phrase that you picked out. So if you get an email that doesn't have that phrase on it, that's how you know. And there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different ways when it comes to emails. Always check the sender. Most of the time with phishing, it's going to have a sender. Like it'll say crypto.com as the sender, but then it'll say reply to, some crazy name on the bottom. Those are usually signs. Most of the time they get lazy. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll start to see the shift and the change in the email because they know most of the time people are not going to go all the way to the bottom of the email. So there's things that you can look at and there's ways to see if it's authentic, if they're trying to hack, if it's something that, you shouldn't even be acknowledging at the moment. That's where the knowledge comes in. The knowledge comes in knowing what you're looking for. Knowing what you're looking for. Okay? So, as we get in to our next segment and start closing this episode up, we're going to go into asset or trash it. Now, we didn't really talk about any crypto specifically in this one, but I'm going to give you a myth real quick. So, as a lot of people think this actually. As long as I never type my seed phrase into a website, I can't get scammed. And the reality is that protects you from the most obvious scam, but not from the sneakier ones. Malicious signatures and approval requests can drain your wallet without ever even asking for your seed phrase. Because you're not giving up your keys. You're giving a smart contract permission to move your token. You don't need a seed phrase for this. So if we think about that myth and we want to stick with this segment, I would say trash it. Trash that myth. Stop thinking you know it all. Stop thinking you're too good to fall for the scams. Okay? Because it's a good habit. It's just not the whole picture. Never typing your seed phrase anywhere is rule number 1. No debate. That's 110%. But rule number 2, which people skip, is read what you're actually signing. If a pop-up says something like approve unlimited token access and you're just trying to mint a $2 NFT, that math doesn't add up. Wallets today usually show you plain English summaries before you sign anything. Read it. Actually read it. It takes 10 extra seconds and it can save your entire portfolio. All right. So as we keep leveling up in this season, wallet security is the foundation of everything else we're about to cover. DeFi, NFTs, interacting with people one-on-one using your own wallet, trading. So the biggest takeaway that I want you to keep from this entire episode is an exchange holds your crypto for you. A wallet allows you to hold it for yourself. And either way, never sign a transaction you haven't actually read, because in this world, one careless click is all it takes. So here's the move of the week. Go look at your own setup. Know which of your cryptos sits on an exchange and which ones you've transferred to the wallet. And from now on, treat every single connect or sign like it's a contract, because it actually is one, obviously. But slow down, read it, and I think you'll be just fine. Okay? So that's another episode. It's another block on Blocks and Beyond. We'll see you next week.